The following podcast is a next level production.
Hey panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark. And this is our 200th episode. And not only is this our 200th episode, as you can see, the man before you is the one and only, the podcaster extraordinaire, the writer-director, the man on the IMDb boat who actually does all the interviews for San Diego Comic-Con himself, the one, the only, that Kevin Smith.
COVID survivor. We can add that now.
Ah, yes. Yeah. You feeling better?
I do. I feel better, but I'm still producing mucus, still coughing up mucus, but I'm testing negative. Thank the Lord.
Awesome. Very good. Good to hear that you're in fine health. I got to see you not too long ago in New Jersey.
Yes. The Stash Bash.
The Stash Bash. The 25th anniversary. Yeah.
It seemed like such a long time ago, but that was the beginning of May. It was like May 7th, I think.
Correct.
So, yeah, we're almost at a month ago from that now.
Awesome.
What a great occasion, and how nice. We got everybody to come out and hang out and take pictures, and then the shows I thought were great. I love the three-way Q&A thing.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I love the Q&As. It just felt more like home. Because the first 28 years of my life, I was a Staten Islander, and I always went to Jersey. And to me, going to Jersey, not so bad. But I live in upstate New York, so it was a little bit of a haul. But
that's a haul now at this point.
Yeah, but it was fun to go down there and see you with your friends. You were definitely talking about Clerks 3 that we're all anticipating. I'm looking forward to it.
I saw a trailer last week. And it was really wonderful. After, as of when you're coming up with the movies, one of the first things you think about is, geez, I wonder what the trailer will look like.
Yeah.
So part of the process, hi, Shecky, where you see the trailer for the first time is always kind of a little bit mind-bending. You have to go through the process of making the movie first, but the trailer making art form is so specific. Like, I can't really cut trailers. I've tried, but I don't think I'm very good at it. The fact that these cats were able to take 90 minutes and distill it into like 2 perfect minutes, I was blown away by it. So I can't wait to share it.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing the movie. I've been anticipating this for so long. A lot of me was always waiting for Mallrats 2. But I still think that's on the wayside.
You and me both still waiting for Mallrats. Twilight of the Mallrats.
Twilight of the Mallrats, yep. And then on top of that, we're looking forward to Moose Jaws as well.
Yes, there's a Moose Jaws in our future. Absolutely. Somebody's fucking dumb enough to be like, here's a bunch of money, go make that movie.
Literally, it all boils down to money and trying to get financing for it and to put it through.
Always at the end of the day. And then, it becomes a question of like, how badly do you want it? Like, worst case scenario, like maybe I pay for it myself or something like that. But it's not like we've knocked on doors and people have been like, nah. There's one company that we were engaged with back and forth for a while, Shudder. And I don't, it's been such a long process that everything else has been able to happen before that. Like Reboot happened before that. Clerks 3 happened before that. Mm-hmm. So I think if I ever get serious about it, folks will know I'm serious about it when I'm like, oh, we're doing it because I'm paying for it. Fuck it. But I've only really engaged with one group about doing it, and it went from a movie to like a fucking streaming series and shit. But I think it's better done just as a 90-minute joke. more so than streaming series.
I think so too. I think it would be best suited as like a small movie. And
agreed.
Just like just as it came out of Tusk, which I was a fan of. I still am a huge fan of Tusk. Loved it. And I still laughed at the fact that the girl I took to go see it said, I better not get any nightmares. I'm like, really? A Kevin Smith movie? You're going to get a nightmare from a Kevin Smith movie?
Yeah, particularly that one, heavens.
I was like, Red State will probably give you nightmares, but not Tusk. But yeah, you've been on the scene, and you've been highly influential in media, as it were, throughout all these years.
Fingers crossed.
Well, as being such a media icon, me and a varying few fans that I speak with about you, we all think, hey, when's Kevin going to show up in a Marvel film?
Oh, what a great question. It's certainly not from lack of desire. It's not like I'm like, well, I've been too busy for them. So far, no call for a Marvel appearance. But the moment they call, believe me, I would be there in a heartbeat. But yeah, I guess what has to come down to is somebody I know has to direct one of those movies. It's that simple.
Yeah, just you playing that role of kind of like how Stan Lee always was. Now Stan was a huge icon in Marvel, as we all know, but you being somebody who represents, I like to see you as a representation of the public, the fans that are out there. And I think,
oh my God, tell Kevin Feige, Mark, it's not effective to tell me I want to be in a Marvel movie as badly as maybe you would like to see me in one, but it's not up to me. It's up to
that.
Kevin Feige. And it's, I wonder how long, I've been lucky in the past, and as much as I've gotten to work in things that I enjoy, or like Degrassi, popping up at Degrassi, or things like that.
Or Star Wars.
Or Star Wars, exactly. But, Marvel, man, I'm still waiting on that.
I'm sure they'll knock on your door sometime soon.
I don't know. The best time would have been post-heart attack. But, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I'm like, why would they? They don't have to. They're doing just fine. They don't need you and stuff. So at the end of the day, it's like, well, what do I bring to it? And I guess most people don't really think of me as a talking actor. You know what I'm saying? Mostly they think of me when I'm in movies, I don't really talk. I think the majority of the time that I've been in movies, I've never had much dialogue.
It's the one that you and Jay did where you said it's woman-like, right? Woman-like?
Right. Not even my movie, though. So, I'm not really known for being an actor, so to speak. But I am known for loving the fuck out of those movies and being vocal about it. So I too wonder, geez, will I ever call? But even in there's just this weird kind of privileged expectation that would even be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really sits around going well, sooner or later Marvel will call me. But yet, because of the career I've had, there is this weird kind of subtle expectation of well, you'll wind up in one of those sooner or later, won't you? I'm like, I fucking hope so. People always ask me about don't you want to direct one of those? And I'm like, God, no way, not in a million years.
You want to watch it, or just show up on a little clip and be like, that's it?
That's the other thing. It's they don't even have to put me in these movies. Just fucking let me see them early. But I'm working on something. I'm working on a plan that will allow me to see not just Marvel movies early, but everything early.
Awesome.
We'll see if it's
That's cool. Now, with the fact that we spoke about Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey, on 65 Broad Street, with the whole legalization of marijuana, and you're smoking right now, which is fine. I don't care. I would love to have a bone with you and smoke that bowl or what have you. But where I'm at, it's not legal. But now it's legal in.
Where are you? Upstate New York?
Yeah, Dutchess County, New York.
I think it's been decriminalized.
It's been decriminalized, but I can't go buy that down the street.
You can't go buy it down the street, but if you have it, it's not against the law.
Oh, yeah. But
I'm in weed legal California at
Yeah,
the moment. Naturally, it's just abundant and everywhere.
exactly. But now that it's been available for recreational use, for retail use, or sales in New Jersey, what would you call a stash weed store?
Well, we already took Jane Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
Yeah.
I always thought Jane Silent Bob's Secret Garden would work.
All right. I think of the Secret Garden. I think of the just two chicks with the story box and
fine. It would be us and like those girlish outfits and from the fucking turn of the century. That requires us getting a license, and we applied to try to get one of those licenses, but
okay,
they didn't give it to us. Hopefully, we can partner up with somebody who has a license, and if we do, then Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Garden could become a reality.
Oh wow!
It would be so. I mean, what is it? It's not sad. It's not tragic, but I mean, what a missed opportunity to have been in the state this long, and with characters that were weed dealers, and the state goes legal, and we don't have a store like with our face on it. It just seems.
Have it in between our Quick Stop and Smod Castle, and just put it where that little corner section of RST.
Put it in RST video, but Middletown Township is not zoned for weed.
What?
They're not letting weed in. Leonardo is part of Middletown Township, and we went through it with the mayor of Middletown, who's actually in Clerks 3, and talked to their council. And Middletown is a fairly conservative township.
Yeah.
Very Republican. So they were like, look, we're going to let Red Bank do the weed, and we'll see how it goes for them. And if they make money after a couple of years, then maybe we'll think about it. So Believe me, we were, for the last 2 years, that's what we've been working on, trying to get a weed store at RST Video, but it's not going to happen until Middletown Township decides they want to go weed legal. Even if they decide to go weed legal, that area of the highway may not be zoned for weed because right across the highway is a school.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's believe me, that was the plan. We were like, oh my God, RST will be the weed store. I mean, in Clerks 3, Jay and Silent Bob run their weed store out of RST. So it's baked into the DNA of the movie.
Spoilers, everybody, but yeah.
Well, the pictures that we put up online and stuff. RST, PHC.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. I actually got to visit that Quick Stop while I was down there, and the
actual Quick Stop.
Yeah, the actual Quick Stop, and I thought it was like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm like, I look right across the street, it's like, wow, a bunch of condominiums. Okay.
They put those up. Let me see. Well, when we made Clerks 2, those were there because the boys pull up in front when the store's closed, and behind them it's just an open field. And so that was 2006. So I guess maybe 2010, I think they were there for Hurricane Sandy as well. They went up. So they've been there for like the last decade. So they wound up in the reverse shots of Clerks 3 as well.
Wow.
And it's a nice little charting of the landscape, as much as like the town doesn't change, it's frozen in time. That one added section of housing is new since we started making movies in Leonardo.
Wow.
So yeah, you could live across the street from Quick Stop. We used one of those apartments as Randall's apartment, not the physical location, because the physical location is meant to be the door between Quick Stop and RST. That's Randall's apartment in Clerks 3. But to shoot an interior, we went across the street and used those apartments as his interior. They're nice.
That's cool. So now, speaking of movies that you've done, I've already mentioned Red State. And actually, it's funny. I showed that to my mother. My mother was like, wow, this is not a Kevin Smith movie. Because she's heard of Clerks.
No, definitely not a Kevin Smith movie. That was the one that when I was finished with it, I was like, oh, fucking, if I didn't want to be a Kevin Smith movie maker, I might have been able to like just be one of those standard ass filmmakers, like just somebody who makes movies that, are disconnected and shit like that. Red State made me go like, wow, I could have done it. All right. And then I went back to doing what I like doing.
Well, oddly enough, my mother's 80 years old. She's not into the humor that I am, that you do, that
What
I
a
love.
shot.
Yeah. But she watched it and was impressed. She was like, that was a great movie. She goes,
Nice.
Who wrote that? I'm like, he did. He directed it.
I'll take that that's somebody who's been watching movies for 80 years, man.
Yeah.
That's somebody who knows a thing or two about taking in filmed media. And if after all those years of seeing movies, if some dopey movie I do could like make somebody who's watched a lifetime of movies be like, wow, that was impressive. That's high watermark.
Yeah.
Fuck the box office. That's real right there.
Well, it's a matter of touching people, and I think you do touch people, not in the wrong way, but in the right way. But in a sense, you tickle our funny bone. You actually make us think. I've loved your stuff since Clerks. Unfortunately, when I got exposed to Clerks, it wasn't until it came out in Blockbuster. I missed out on the private screenings, everything else. I went to Blockbuster, go rent Clerks, and I'm like, yay, it's out on VHS. I open it up, I put it in a VCR. I'm watching this movie for a while, and I'm like, this isn't what I saw. It's Primal Fear with Edward Norton, Richard.
Oh, shit. It's a much better movie, to be fair. Edward Norton, an amazing performance. That's where we all discovered that Edward Norton was a fucking thing, man. Like, this guy, who is this guy? He's acting like a hick, but at the end of the spoilers, he's got a secret personality.
Yeah.
To be fair, more vastly entertaining film than Clark, and in color, and with movie stars. Had the guy from Pretty Woman in it, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, I called the place going, hey, this isn't the movie I got.
Yeah, you guys ripped me off.
Exactly. So I finally got to watch it. The only time I saw Clerks in the theaters. Unfortunately, I went to go see a movie. My friend with me was like, hey, let's go to the movies. It was some over-popular film at the time. That we were like, this is terrible. Let's get out of here. Let's go into here. Where do we go? It's a Kevin Smith movie. It's Mallrats.
Mallrats. So, nice.
I think I paid for your Mallrats movie
the movies
3 times.
The movies that were popular at the time were Now and Then, which was a movie that had like young kids and older actresses, like famous young actresses and older actresses, and they played the young versions of those actresses.
Yeah.
That was like a PG movie or PG-13 and stuff. Then there was Get Shorty, was also out that same weekend.
That's true, yeah.
And then Mallrats.
Yeah,
whatever was out before we, from the previous week.
Yeah, she was just like, "Oh, let's get out of here." I was like, "We snuck in, and I think I've paid for Mallrats 5 times over right now from between old digital media formats."
You were the one that single-handedly fucking financed the Mallrats economy.
Not really. I'm sure there's a ton of your fans that have bought that movie so many times over, and I've been an advocate of it since. A lot of people were dissing it. I loved it because of it. It just appealed to me. I was the Brody Bruce. I was the kid in the basement that lived with his parents and had his comics and all his memorabilia, and kind of disillusioned with his girlfriend at the time. I was very much that guy when I had hair. But it kind of appealed to me. And the fact is, you'll laugh at this. At the 25th anniversary Stash Bash, I was waiting outside, and we already said it. You said, hey, I hope everybody didn't get stuck in the rain. Well, I was one of the people stuck in the rain. But I'm also out there, and I see it 2 times while I'm staying online. I didn't come here for this event. I came here for comics. And I got that from like 2 people. And I'm like, you deliberately came here. You know who the owner is. Is this Adam Mallrats? It's that's like funny. Kevin is the Stan Lee in his own comic shop.
That's crazy. Oh my God. I mean, I guess sooner or later, what are they saying? Dark Knight, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
But I just had that awakening when I was there, and I said this to a couple of the other people I've met while I was at the Stash Bash who I've had on, and we talked about the weekend and how much they came far and wide to see that. You had people coming from out of the country, other states. People love the Stash. I love the Stash. I get there every once in a while. Now it seems to be more of a staple of live events that Mike's been setting up lately. And
yeah, the idea is it's easy when I come to town. I could bring a lot of interest to the store and stuff. But the new manifest is like, get other people in there.
Yeah.
That you don't. I'm happy to come and do stuff, but it's, we had a signing. I guess what was it, last month, with the kid who did what is it? Harriet Tubman.
Oh yes.
Fire Slayer, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. It was like Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer, or something like that. It was a comic book.
Yes. He came in, did a signing. The dude from Courage the Cowardly Dog, I think is coming or did come. The idea is like, get some cats in there that aren't me, that just will appeal to like other people. Like, I'll always be there. You could always fucking count on me sooner or later having an event or whatnot. But, reach out to other folks as well. And now with the, we launch in the fall at Secret Stash Press, it feels like an even easier way to like fill the place with other comic book folks as well, now that we're part of the Dark Horse family.
Yeah, you could actually get more celebrated comic book artists, not just new and up and coming ones. You could probably have others like Jim Lee. And
getting Jim Lee out to the East Coast would be one thing. Quesada, maybe now that Joe is, I guess I just read that he's out of Marvel.
Yeah,
officially.
He's a freelancer.
I mean, it's something like 2 years ago he told me that was coming. So now he's officially out. I bet you it'll be easier to get him to come do stuff, because it was tougher when he was a Disney employee. He had to get all sorts of like approvals and shit like that. But now that he's free, I think it'd be a smart move to get him to come do a signing, like Daredevil anniversary thing. Or maybe I can get him to go to my covers. Yeah,
like variant covers.
Yeah,
or even anything specifically for the Stash itself. And then, I'm not trying to promote or marketing anything, but everything is all about marketing. You know that more than anything. You market yourself, and coming from somebody who markets themselves, is it just through the persistence of loving what you do, or is it based upon you loving yourself a lot?
I mean, it certainly starts off that way, being like a big fan of yourself, thinking like, oh man, people have to hear what's on my mind. I think I have something to say. And then at a certain point, like it went from, oh, I'm going to make things, to like, oh, my whole life is the art project, and my whole life is the business at this point. And I am what I'm out there selling. I'm not in the movie business as much as I'm in the Kevin Smith business, and movies are part of that or something.
Yeah, just like podcasting.
So, yeah, totally. So there was a shift. I remember at one point, like being like, oh my God, I'm not just a filmmaker for a living. Now I'm me for a living. But part of that means that everything you think about becomes this potential adventure. I was walking around the other day in the house and had this like goofy ass thought where I'm like, this is nuts, man. Like everything around here, like the walls of this structure and everything that's hanging on them, like is a series of never ending wish fulfillment, right? Like, a guy going like, I think this would be cool if I told this story, and that somehow paid the bills, and that paid for like this, and it's weird to walk around in your imagination at all times. And I don't mean in my imagination like I live in my head, but like
Mhm.
a house is literally fucking like all this shit's my imagination. All the shit on that wall, all the shit on that wall came from me going like, what if like this person said this? And what if like I made a movie about going to the mall? What if I made a movie about this? Like that is insanely gratifying at this age to be 51 and realize like I built this shit out of fucking nothing. Like this is literally like it's not like I created a thing. I wrote an algorithm. Like is literally just going like I just wanted to make movies, and all of a sudden like this is what it all resulted in. So that feels wonderful at all times, and because of that, I've never lost interest in the job or being creative, because if something bores you, like if I was ever like, oh, we just did a movie, I don't want to do another movie.
Yeah.
You know, I'd fucking pivot over to comics and pivot over to this, pivot over to that. So, and you know, I come from an old school of thinking in terms of like when I want to tell a story, first thing I think of is a film, because that's how I entered the business.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's like so many different ways to skin that cat. You don't even have to just think about that. But so far, you know, I've been doing it like it's coming up, you know, let me see, it's 2022. The first time I said View Askew was 1992. So it's been 30 years of dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
and then making those dreams come to life. And then because of that, getting the bills paid and building a home and whatnot. It's a prolonged like adolescence in this house, because it just looks like a kid lives here. Like it doesn't look that different from my bedroom when I lived at 21 Jackson Street.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll ever lose interest in it. It will definitely lose interest in me. The culture will, long before I'll ever lose interest in making stuff. Because what else is there? Like, I just come off of COVID. So essentially I was like down for a week and change and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, I was fucking bored. You know, I don't, if that's what retirement looks like.
Yeah. Right.
Might keep doing this shit till I drop dead,
Well,
which is preferable.
It's all about being creative and following through with your creative passion. And I always state this. I actually brought this up to it was a Zoom call with Tom Savini, Patricia Tallman, and a whole bunch of people. And Tom was talking about his school of effects, and there were people there, and me, I dabbled in everything. I try to be creative from the time I was in junior high. You know, I tried to be that person. I was trying to be a writer. Oh, I want to be a photographer. Oh, I want to do this. By the time I was in high school, I wanted to play bass, and I had terrible marks. I was a terrible student. And I started taking up bass guitar. I took year lessons. And then after out of high school into college, or parts of college that I went to, I started doing it on my own because I was pursuing that. I went to School of Audio Engineering. So I went to the Institute of Audio Research, before that Center for the Media Arts, before they shut down. But throughout that, I was still playing in bands. I showed passion. I followed through. And that's the whole point, is follow your passions as they are. And you've shown that with everything that you've done. You started that from, if you watched the, I'm telling this to the listeners, watch the movie Kirk that you could get on Amazon Prime, which you sent a video to your parents of how you wanted to become a filmmaker. And that was so original. And you could already tell from that introduction of your path in life for yourself to be creative. And I always say that to people who are uncertain. And especially with podcasting, like my friend Rob was just on with me before. We were recording for Panels to Pixels podcast on an episode. And he just started literally about 2 months ago. And he's got 5 episodes up. And he didn't realize, and he's got that itch, that tick of wanting to do it. And it's the drive. I still have this drive. Now, mind you, I work a regular job, so I have to do this in my spare time. It's the hobby I love. If I could do this as a business, it'd be great. But you invested so much in yourself to be a creator, not just you started with film. Then you went from film to podcasting, then to YouTube. Then you became more of a media icon in a sense where you were doing that on the IMDb boat for interviews, and people know your name and your face. You are there. If I say the name Kevin Smith at a convention, people will know who you are. Mm. That is something to revere and say to somebody, hey, if this guy here could do it, you could do it too. It's all about expressionism, passion, and faith in yourself. And I think that's what you've given me when I started listening to podcasts on a regular in 2012. I knew about podcasting because when I do home theater installations at people's homes in 2005, I knew about podcasts. But I didn't start that journey until about 5 or 6 years ago. Better
late than never.
But if you look now during the whole thing of COVID, everybody's got a podcast.
I just saw that Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery are going to launch a Video Archives podcast, which is Video Archives is the video store they used to work at.
Oh, wow.
Manhattan Beach. And so they're going to sit down and talk about, movies that were important to them and stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's all about the passion.
I think it's taken Quentin this long to get a podcast, as chatty as he is.
Oh, he has a voice, and he has definitely opinions too, and he's got taste.
Yeah, very much so.
Talking about older movies that you've done, Zack and Mary Make a Porno. Mm-hmm. I love that film. A lot of people don't like it. I do.
I love it.
The one thing that a friend of mine had asked me to ask you, the Monroeville Zombies jersey. Now, you have the jersey. I have the Leonardo Reapers jersey that is going to be in Clerks 3 now. Will you do a re-release of that particular jersey for the Monroeville Zombies?
The next jersey that we're doing with Geeky Jerseys is the Monroeville Zombies jersey. Oh. So I think they launched that. They sell like the first half of the run, and then they wait and sell the second half of the run. I think they're going to be doing that. It's either this week or the week after or something. But yeah, that's the new one because that's in the movie as well.
Awesome.
Geeky did a bunch of jerseys for us for the flick. The movies one, which went first, the Geeky started selling, and then they did the Reapers jersey, and now they're doing the Zombies jersey, and then after that is the Quick Stop jersey.
Oh, I saw the Quick Stop jersey. I think somebody started advertising it recently.
Yeah, I think we had that up in like photos when we were making the movie.
Ah, cool.
I just saw a picture of the Sean at Geeky Jerseys periodically sends, like when they go into manufacturing mode, there's a series of seam machines, not, I guess, sewing machines that make the actual crests. So he sent me a photo of like all the Quick Stop crests are being built right now. So that means that the Zombies jerseys are done and ready to go, and the Clerks jerseys, the Quick Stop jerseys rather, are being built.
Awesome. The only other question I have for you would be, in your whole career, from the time that you started film till now, what is the most favorite thing? And you can't say Clerks. You have to say something else.
My favorite thing I've ever done?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I loved making
Harley.
Of course, there's that. I loved making like Clerks 2, but like making Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was like fun, as was Reboot. And Clerks 3 this summer was like such a blast because like that may have been the most satisfying on so many levels, because not only did we like, hey, we made a whole ass movie. a whole ass new movie that's predicated on the whole ass old movie.
Yeah.
But I got to go back to work at Quick Stop, so to speak. Like, we shut the place down for 2 weeks, so we owned the building. So I was just like walk up to Quick Stop and go inside like I used to when I had to be there. And I always like resented having to be there. Like, you know, I didn't want a job. I wished, you know, that I was independently wealthy and I didn't have to work.
I think we all do.
Yeah, totally. But we were poor and that was impossible. So it was like work or nothing. So, you know, I spent so much time trying to get away from Quick Stop while I worked there. It was like, oh my God, is it 10:30 yet so we can close and I could do anything fucking else but this? And then slowly ameliorated the place so that it became more habitable. Like, you know, if I'm not going to be working at the video store, well, I'll just bring a TV and a VCR and, you know, to the convenience store and watch movies there because I have a whole video store there. And what's the difference? You know, it's just like to deal with more people, but this will make the day go by quicker.
Yeah.
So, you know, the irony was making Clerks gets me out of Quick Stop forever. And in a very Rosebud-like fashion, you know, Quick Stop remains this shining beacon.
Yeah.
That while I was there, you know, I was like, ugh, I can't believe I got to be there. And ever since I've been gone, like the work just brings me back. I spend a lot of time making media, making movies or comic books or podcasts or fucking TV shows at this point about a very specific time in my life when I was working at Quick Stop. And I've, you know, done other shit like Red State, which has nothing to do with Quick Stop, of course. Cop Out, like all the shit that's not View Universe oriented. But like, I love doing that stuff because it allows me to go back to one of the greatest moments of my life. That in the moment while it was happening, I enjoyed my life. I just hated working. And then, you know, the dream was like get a job where you don't feel like, you know, that it is a job. So that was the pursuit for RST Video. It's like, if I work at a video store, this will never feel like fucking working.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, they were like, well, we want you to work the convenience store more. And, you know, at first I was like, this sucks. And then that changed everything. So being able to go back nearly fucking 30 years later and own Quick Stop to the place where I could work there. I was working there and, you know, I just wasn't doing what I used to do. And I could leave anytime I wanted and, you know, not worry about like, well, who's going to lock up? Who's in charge? That might have been satisfying on so many levels in a way that nothing I've ever done before has been. Because not only do I'm like, hey, there's a whole movie to show for the time we spent there, but there was this whole spiritual, like, you know, renewal of being able to go back and fucking live the happiest time of your life. You know, like some fuckers go to Gretzky fantasy camp and pay like 10, 20 grand to fucking get on the ice with Gretzky and shoot around and shit like that. This was like going to like Kevin Smith fantasy camp but for one guy only, because I was the one that got the most out of it. Nobody else really, you know, like Brian and Walter were there for a couple of days, but, you know, Brian might be the only one to get his head around the idea because he used to work at the stores too.
Okay.
Of like, oh, like, how fun would it be to work at the stores and not have to work at the stores? And, you know, I don't even think he fantasizes about that shit.
No.
So for me, like, you know, there was a version of Clerks before it was Clerks 3. There was a version of the movie where I was like, well, maybe I do this flick where Kevin Smith like wants to go back and work at the store again. And, I was like for a day or two building this whole would-be movie where like I got Brian to play himself and shit. And it was me post-heart attack. And I was like, I want to go back to the store. And so that was going to be the flick. And then I realized like,
no,
I could just do it with Dante. I could do it with Dante and Randall instead of like me and stuff. But I did get to have my cake and eat it too, because the experience of going and making Clerks 3 was that aspect of, wish fulfillment of like, oh my God, I'm going to get Brian, go back and like work at the store for a very specific period of time in the structure of a narrative of a movie. Instead, I got to go back and play with Dante and Randall again and extend the Views universe. But on the personal level, I got that like, oh my God, I got to work at Quick Stop again, and in the best way possible.
Because you could leave at any time.
Yeah, not in the way of like, you got to be here from like fucking 10:30 till 10:30. Because we had like 12-hour days like that.
Yeah.
But it was hard, like in retrospect. It's like you're $475, thank you. The cash register does most of the work for you because it's all math. All you have to do is punch it in. And, if they'd ever gotten ambitious at Quick Stop and gotten a scanning system, the job would have been even easier and shit. I went into a Quick Check in Highlands, my hometown, and you could check yourself out. Now that's robot clerks and shit.
Yeah.
You don't even need a human being and shit at the counter.
Yeah, and that robot could be, I'm not even supposed to be here today, too.
Exactly. That robot is also having an existential crisis at work one day. But yeah, I think honestly, maybe Clerks 3 was the most satisfying on so many levels. Like, not only did I get a movie to show for it, but like I also got to go to like fantasy camp, my own version of fantasy camp, where I got to recreate like 1989 to 1993.
Wow.
It was pretty magical. But honestly, like there's even the shit that didn't work out, like even Cop Out, which like, was not without its fucking travails and shit and uphill battles. In retrospect was like, oh man, like I remember it fondly. I don't sit there and go like, oh my God. Like I remember, the bliss of working with a crew that like absolutely adored me, and finding out that I was a good director outside of my own films. You know what I'm saying? Like Here I was working at a studio, for a studio with studio crew, none of my people except for like Dave Klein. And I got to find out like that, oh, it's not just like everyone you work with knows you, so they like you. Like you're good at this outside of like your own sets,
your own crew.
Like,
yeah.
Like I could have been a director, like kind of like I said with Red State, the whole idea of like, wow, it could have been all different. Like I could have had a way different career, the career everyone else kind of has. But if I had the career that everyone else kind of had, it'd be over by now for sure, man.
You get
like,
bored.
I'm bored. They just wouldn't let me do it. Like when you have the career that everyone else has, at a certain point, you're at their mercy.
Yeah.
Because they got to hire you to make their movies because you don't have your own anymore.
Yeah, and the creative element is taken out of it a little bit to some degree too, because you have to listen to them.
Not even that. Not so much the creative element is taken out. It's just you're dependent on somebody else to be like, we choose you to do our thing. And by being the kind of filmmaker I've been, there's never been a moment where I had to wait to be chosen. I chose myself over and over and over again. So that to me has been, more satisfying. It would have been more respectable to have a different career where like, I tried to get better each time and I tried to win Academy Awards or fucking box office meant something or shit like that, whatever the fuck, whatever a non-Kevin Smith career is. But the career I've had like has allowed me to continue almost 3 decades in at this point. Whereas if I was a work for hire guy, then I'm probably out of the business by now because they always hire younger.
Yeah.
They don't hire old. I would have gravitated toward TV directing. I don't know. I guess that probably would have been a thing. But yeah, it's been a wonderful singular career.
It's been a fun life.
Yeah, very much so. And when I look at my long tail, like I'm like, all right, like, yeah, man, I can vouch for all that shit. That was literally all the shit that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like nothing in there is like, well, I got fucking forced to do that one. Even Cop Out was something that like I chose to do. I was like, oh, this would be fucking cool to make this movie, like an 80s movie. So yeah, I've been so happy with it. Younger version of me thought that it would all be dictated by box office, critical notices and box office. And an old version of me doesn't think that at all. And I don't know if that's because I grew up or because I had no choice to eventually have to accept that, like, you're not going to have critical notices and you're not going to have box office, but you could still make the shit you want to make. It'll still make you happy. Yeah. It'll make a bunch of people happy. And if you're lucky, it'll age well over time. That was definitely the lesson of Mallrats, which was like, in the moment, the movie was dead and over. And now, fucking 25 plus years on, 27 years on, it's like a gold standard for some people.
Yeah,
like
it's
like, why can't you be like Mallrats? And I'm like, wow, man, fucking
I never
expected to hear that shit. Yeah, that's a reversal of fortune right there.
It's like Randall says, I'm bringing it back. Now, are we looking to have anything to that extreme in Clerks 3?
It's
you
weird.
pushed that envelope in Clerks 3? Because now with everything changing in the world and people are so sensitive, are you going to have something that extreme in that movie?
There is something. I don't think anything will be that extreme ever again. I think like at one, there are moments in Clerks 3 that are meta outrageous. Like here in Reboot with the Chasing Amy sequence, we were able to throw in the bit about like, when Alyssa's just like, it'd been better told from a female perspective or a gay perspective, or anything but a cis white male or something like that, which is the criticism that I've received for that movie for like the last 10 years.
I know.
I got to put that in to the flick. There's something in Clerks which we get to address that, is pushes at the edge of the envelope. But I'm trying to think, is there anything where I'm like, is this outrageous enough? I mean, I think it's so weird. After Tusk, I never felt the need to like push the edge of the envelope again.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, well, that's how you push the edge of the envelope. Like, fucking. But I'm trying to think what in Clerks resembles Clerks 2. Oddly enough, that's not the aspect of Clerks 2 that I'm always trying to mimic. The whole reason Clerks 3 exists because I just wanted to do the jail scene from Clerks 2 over and over and over again.
I know, because if you
for like 90 minutes, and that's kind of what Clerks 3 is to me.
Yeah, it's pretty much the growing up of Randall.
Very much so. It's the sequel to the jail scene.
Yeah, it's literally continuing on from that scene, and how,
which is weird because it's not like
Randall
immediately after that scene. It's like it literally takes place. Let me see. We made the 16 years later, like because I think we did Clerks 2 in 2006, and then we're 2022. So yeah, 16 years later, Randall gets to grow up. I mean, it's two parts to his growing up, right? Like he grows up at the end of Clerks 2, and they buy the store, and they're like, all right, well, that's it. Happily ever after. And then shit turns back to gray. And this flick has like the kind of, like if Clerks, I always say like Clerks was about how I saw life in my 20s, and Clerks 2 is how I saw life in my 30s. And like those cats had their Clerks moment in Clerks 2. My Clerks moment was I made Clerks and suddenly I, was in charge of my own life.
Yeah.
At the end of Clerks, they're still working for some other asshole. It's not till the end of Clerks 2 that they get their own independence, so to speak, where they're in charge of their lives. But they got like job type jobs. They own the store.
Yeah.
Clerks 3 is about like the creative release, like a guy who faces the fucking end and realizes like, I almost died and I'm not sad that I didn't get married or have kids or leave New Jersey. I just can't believe I sat around watching movies and never thought of making one myself. Well, fuck it. That's what I want to do now. So he gets kind of, I don't know if that would be growing up, but he gets what I got, which is like creative fulfillment. Like Dante and Randall presumably have financial fulfillment because they own their own store.
Yeah.
And when we meet them in Clerks 3, it looks like the store is doing well and they've got like him and, it's him, Dante, Randall, and Elias, so they can support 3 salaries. But this is creative, like independence or wish fulfillment, or realizing that the end is closer than the beginning, and you don't have time to do all the shit that when you were a kid you're like, oh, I would be cool if I did that. So there's outrageous stuff in it, but the most like there's no like I was going to say there's no like 37 my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks, but there is like again.
Unless there's he references hermaphroditic porn again, who knows, or if he tries to create a movie that has hermaphroditic porn.
There is I'm trying to think, there's do we touch hermaphrodites, which sounds way filthier than I meant it. I think it's weird because now, when we made Clerks, it was very easy to be like out there.
Yeah.
Because nobody was doing it. So we were like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then,
everybody else followed suit and became the norm.
A little bit because we did it. Like, I'll never forget Owen Gleiberman in, I think it was Entertainment Weekly he was reviewing for at the time. When he reviewed Clerks, he goes, this is what a sitcom is going to look like in 10 years and sound like. And, I remember being insulted by that. And he didn't mean it as an insult, but he was just like, now that this has happened, 10 years from now,
people will rip it off
on TV. Yeah. And so, like, in a weird way, like to kind of go like, all right, how do I push the edge of the envelope this time is so like feels thirsty.
Yeah.
Because now, like, we live in a world where there's an episode of Black Mirror where the fucking UK premier fucks a pig.
Yeah, the prime minister, yes.
Yeah, the PM, not the premier. Yeah, the PM, the prime minister fucks a pig. Like, I remember seeing that and being like, we should all go home. Nobody's ever going to fucking make anything better than that. That's fucking crazy. And yet, people make new shit all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, something like Euphoria pushes at the edges of the envelope now. Like, I don't have that in me. And so I kind of did make a decision of like, do I have a centerpiece like scene that like this happens or like an out there moment? And I realized like in, 16 years since Clerks 2, people don't talk to me about the donkey show as much as they talk to me about the jail scene. Like, that's the scene that people bring up the most. And it's like, all right, so if you're going to honor something that has like apparently lasted, like something that really captured folks' imagination and stayed with them.
Yeah.
You know, oddly enough, it's not the thing where I'm like, hey man, this guy fucks a donkey. Isn't that fucked up? It's
or Trevor on the side jerking off while watching it.
yeah, yes, which is so weird to me. Like, that did happen, and I never really think about that aspect. But yeah, he fucking off to that. His character gets to do some interesting things in Clerks 3.
Cool.
And he goes on a journey, which
So he's
like,
not the Shemp anymore. Does he get a Shemp for himself? Does he get to pick
does.
on like Randall?
He does absolutely.
Awesome.
But unlike Randall, like Elias isn't the kind of person to, I was abused, so I will visit abuse on others. He's the other archetype, which is like, because I was abused, I will abuse no others. And
oh, okay, cool.
He has his own
twist.
Sidekick, but his sidekick, theirs is a very warm relationship.
Them in the Rings probably movie and Transformers.
Yes, they share passion.
All right. Well, I think I've taken a lot of your time already, but is there anything that you want to plug that you've been doing? Obviously, that Kevin Smith club that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
I'm a yoga hoser. Obviously, there'll be more events coming up for that in coming weekends. You're doing something live, I believe, soon as well.
Yeah, I'm doing what are we doing? I'm doing a thing on I go to Jersey on Thursday, Friday. We shoot something at the Stash. So Friday night we're gonna meet at Smod Castle, do that Kevin Smith Club.
Awesome.
State of the Union there. And then we've got, there's an announcement this week about something I've been working on. Then it looks like the beginning of July is when the trailer for Clerks 3 drops and the tickets will go on sale for the tour. Meantime, I'm still going to Comic-Cons. Like, so I'm be at the Denver Fan Expo, Chicago Fan Expo for the next month or two. And then it's Clerks tour all throughout the fall.
Awesome. Some things to look forward to for all my listeners out there and people reviewing this. Also, you will probably be doing an interview with the only Ben Beck, who is part of the Next Level Online Radio Podcast Network that this podcast is on. Ben actually moderated your panel in Philly.
He did a great job.
He's an amazing man, and I have to thank Ben because he is yet another influence for me getting into podcasting. Not only it was you, Chris Hardwick, Ben, and my friend Jason Kabasi, and if it wasn't for Ben, I wouldn't be on here doing what I do. So I have to thank Ben. I just want to thank you for being on, and I look forward to seeing you with your future events.
In a heartbeat, man. I'm glad we got to do. Was it episode 200?
This is episode 200.
Fucking A. Was it? Were you trying to get me for episode 100?
Actually, I had Mike and Ming for episode 100. So not only did I have...
Now you're working your way up to TESD. For 300, you'll get those guys.
Yeah, I got to get in touch with Walt. You know, now Walt's actually on the con circuit again.
He went to Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Kidham went down there, and I'm surprised he drove all the way down there.
I think he was at the Blue Juice table.
Correct.
To support that he drew and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. I remember when the guy from Fan Expo was like, we were at not the one in Orlando, but I guess St. Louis show. And he's like, Walter's coming to Orlando. Is there anything special we should do? And I was like, what? My Walter Flanagan? He's going to a Comic-Con by choice?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, coming down. I was like, holy shit. I was like, put him on, Get Old with us because we had a show that night. But I don't know if the message got to him.
Oh.
But it was crazy when I heard that too. I'm like, oh my God. Like, if you live long enough, you get to see all the things you wish for. Walter would willingly go to cons. I dragged him to a lot of cons, or not dragged him personally, but like made him and Brian fucking drive all the way out to Comic-Con to sell shit.
Or Terrificon in Connecticut, which I've been to. Yeah. Yeah, seeing Walt do that makes me happy. I look forward to seeing whatever Walt's doing. I do miss him at the stash. Mike's been doing an excellent job. So I'm loving what Tesdy has to do. So all you listeners, obviously go listen to everything that's on the Smodco network. So you could actually hear Kevin. You could listen to Tesdy. You could listen to Mike and Ming. And Ming's always out there, too, doing his own thing, too.
Always. Both those guys are committed to podcasting with Shared Universe.
Yep. So with that, I just want to thank everybody for listening. This was Panels to Pixels, and we'll see you on the next panel.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.